Testing, 1, 2, 3. Should I say hi? My name is Demarcus Paul, and I'm going to teach you how to manual.
Perfect.
See, if you're just picking up a bike and you feel fairly comfortable riding it, you can learn how to manual, you know. So the first step would be just finding out what position feels comfortable with you when you're standing on your pedals, whether it's on the tip of your toes or on the center of your feet. But from there, you want to keep a more relaxed feel with your legs when it comes to pulling up, and pull up really hard with your arms. So when you have relaxed legs and you pull up, it kind of like put the bike in it goes into the position more fluently. And from there, then your body automatically kind of want to adjust, but I'm sure you will loop out here and there, and that's just the beginning of it. One thing that do help is to never set a distance when you're learning it. So whenever you do have it, it's almost like every time you're doing a manual, it's just like the distance is only like, it's short. So you really have just the state of mind that you're not going the distance, you're just more so like, oh, I'm only focusing on like just a few feet ahead of me, and I'm just trying to keep it up. Because if you have a set distance and your arms get tired, then you're already like looking at the distance you're trying to go. Therefore, it's causing you to think more about everything else, and you're correcting, and like just so much stuff going on that makes it confusing. And even that's confusing talking about it. So it helps if you just try to relax. Have a little bit more like, have your arms kind of tense, but only correct it whenever you feel like you need to correct it. And it don't have to be dramatic. You could just adjust with your arms or slightly adjust with your legs. But try to keep a relaxed feel if you're just trying to go the distance. The more and more you do it, you'll find a good balance with you when you kind of already know when it's about to drop, and you automatically just pull it up, whether it's with your arms or with your legs. Typically for me, it helps if I pull with my arms first, because it's like it's a faster reaction, like less dramatic as well. And if you're about to loop out, you want to bend your knees as much as you can and pull your arms, like sometimes you pull your arm close to you, so you can hump the bars and you can kind of like put more of your weight on the front of the bike before it get to the 6 o'clock mark, or the 12 o'clock mark, as they call it. And maybe that'll help you put the front end back down. And even then, you have to make another adjustment to keep it in that angle. More so now, being that you have shorter back ends on frames, or smaller frames, or shorter wheelbase, it may make the bike easier to pick up, make manuals a little bit easier. But one thing I found to be helpful, no matter the length of the frame, is tire pressure. If you have low PSI, it may make it hard to kind of like keep the momentum to keep the manual up, versus like a good PSI for whatever size you are, how much ever you weigh. Just kind of like have it where you don't have too much play in the tire pressure, but you want to have enough so whenever you do pick it up, you can carry the momentum to keep the manual up. Because if you're going kind of slow and you try to manual, it makes it way more difficult having low PSI. But after you learn it, all that is kind of preference. The secret to manuals is to manual everything you see. Same thing with any other trick, I personally think. Like, this doesn't mean it's right, but this is what I think. Like, if you're doing bar spins, if you're doing nose wheelies, if you're doing 180s, like, you do it on everything, whether it's flat ground, if you only have cement, dirt, grass, whatever you see, just do it on everything. And therefore, you'll have like a variety pack of ways you can do a manual. So, everything.
I guess we can use just a little bonus, just because.
Super helpful with learning manuals for me was not having my chain super tight. It's like a lot of people like to do whips and like to do a lot of tricks that involve taking your feet off, and you want to have like your chain where your cranks aren't really moving that much, or however you want it. But when it's too tight, it makes it hard for your body to adjust to the manual position. So if the front end's down and you go to pull up and your chain or your cranks are too tight, it makes it hard for your foot to push and like adjust to the position that you need to be in to keep it up, or to keep yourself from looping out. And another thing with cassette too, I learned how to manual with the cassette, and It's interesting nowadays too, because I mean a lot of people have free coasters, and people will see that as a more of a true way of manually, which is by all means, however you look at it is right, whatever. But learning how to manual with the cassette is super helpful, and it's very, very similar to the brake kind of. When you think about it, is if your front end is dropping, you can crank the pedal or crank the cranks a little bit so you can bring the front end back up, which is not cheating whatsoever, because like that's how you naturally do it. Like that's how it is. Like people learn how to manual with the cassette, I would say more so before they did with the coaster, as well as with the brake. And also just manual down the ledge, like the cargo ledge, so we just get that out of the way. Brakes versus no brakes. I actually didn't learn how to manual with brakes until maybe 5-6 years ago. Brakes kind of help you in the position of if you're about to loop out, and it causes less movement with your body if you use the brake as well. So if you're going really fast, and let's say if you're going down a hill, you can have a little bit more control, because if you're going too fast and you lean back, you can feather the brake to kind of like make the front end go down, and you're also slowing down at the same time. And like I said, I just learned how to do it a few years ago, and it is kind of difficult if you've already learned how to manual, then try to do it that way versus like learning how to manual with the brake. But the key thing is to like learn how to feather the brake. Don't just clamp it down, because it's going to make the front end drop, and if you hit it too late, you're going to loop out. To actually just learn like either a deck manual or manual a parking space. Like I said, I never really measured the distance, but I would say a month or two to really feel confident in like, okay, I can do, a few parking spaces if I measured it. 1 to 2 months to really have like a few feet and feel confident, and that few feet could translate to a mini ramp deck or a ledge or a picnic table, whatever it is you want to manual. Like that is basically not even a beginning stage, but like a part of manual that you can put into another, like you can take it to another spot basically. So yeah, a few months to really feel confident. And like even now doing manuals, like I'm super confident, but sometimes you still have to kind of like still use the basic steps of manuals, because like with 4 pegs, like a lot of people don't have pegs, but like using 4 pegs, you kind of like forget. And if you're in a manual, it's so easy to loop out and your feet are stuck on the pedals. And if you try to take them off, they get stuck on the pegs. So yeah, just step by step and not overdoing it when it comes to forgetting that each foot or however far you're going is like, it's a process. It's not like because you're good at a manual doesn't mean you'll be able to do it the same way every single day. Just taking it step by step and like breaking it down each and every time you do it on each and everything you do it on.
You want to tell them to subscribe to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I actually, I've had a YouTube for a long period of time. I made a YouTube channel to be able to watch all just videos without it having like a filter. And I recently, actually today, I just thought about that. Maybe I should upload all my BMX content onto my YouTube. And I guess it's my name, Demarcus Paul. And if you want to subscribe, you can. And
I'll put a link. I'll put a link in there. I'll find it. Yeah, something. How do you
somewhere.
do that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a link here or here. Yeah, but seriously, yeah, I'm gonna upload it.
Tuesday to upload a video.
Yeah, I got till Tuesday. So when this video drops, I should have a video up, at least one.
Word. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, thank you.